Thank you very much, and hello, Tupelo. This is great to be with you tonight, the great state of Mississippi. The great state of Mississippi, and by the way, the birthplace of a gentleman, not too many people heard of him, Elvis Presley. But to be with thousands of incredible patriots who put their faith in God, family, and country. Right? 4 days from now, this state will head to the polls and vote to continue our extraordinary progress with your next governor, Republican Tate Reeves. Great guy. Under Republican leadership, jobs are booming, confidence is soaring, wages are rising, crime is falling, and our nation is stronger than ever before. We're now an economic powerhouse. We've never been in a position like it. We've rebuilt our military, and we have financial strength. And by the way, for those of you with a thing called 401ks, the stock market hit today another all-time historic high. Unemployment in Mississippi has reached the lowest rate ever recorded. Ever recorded. That's not bad. That's not bad when you're on the debate stage and you say we have the best economy we've ever had, we have the best military we've ever had, the best unemployment and employment numbers we've ever had. Said, get the best president we've ever had. Thank you. Thank you very much. And very importantly, we've confirmed more than 158 brand new, beautiful federal judges to uphold our Constitution as written. In a very short while, we'll have 182 federal judges. President Obama left us 142. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, President Obama. He left us 142 openings. Can you believe that? You're supposed to leave none when you leave office, but that didn't work out too well. And just days ago, the United States brought the world's #1 terrorist leader to justice. We have great military. It was very, very depleted. When I came into office, it was very, very depleted, but it ain't depleted anymore. Yeah, al-Baghdadi, the founder and leader. Look, you know, you've heard about him for a long time. I kept saying, where is al-Baghdadi? That's the one I want. Where is he? And then, by the way, the following day, we got #2. I don't know if you read about that. But he was the founder and the leader of ISIS, and he's dead. And Baghdadi, he was a savage and soulless monster, but his reign of terror is over. American special operators executed a masterful raid that ended his wretched life and punched out his ticket to hell, I guess you could say. He spent his last miserable moments on earth cowering and trembling and crying in fear of the American warrior that was right there, going right up. No enemy stands a chance against the righteous might of the United States military. And Mississippi loves our military, that I can tell you, and our military loves Mississippi. America is winning again, and America is all over the world respected again. It's about time. But while we're creating jobs and killing terrorists, the Democrat Party has gone completely insane. The radical left is determined to transform America into a country you would not recognize. We are the ones standing in their way, and we will never get out of their way. It will be easy. From even before we won the election, the far-left Democrats and the fake news media, right back there, look at all of them. Oh. It's too bad we get such good ratings, because if we didn't, they wouldn't be here. Look at how many. It's like the Academy Awards before it failed. Right? And you know why it failed? Because they disrespected us. But the media and the Democrats have been engaged in a corrupt partnership trying to impose their will and to thwart American democracy by any means necessary. You see what's going on. First, they engineered the Russia hoax. That was a total hoax. The single greatest lies ever foisted upon the American people. Then the Mueller witch hunt. It never ended. With 18 angry Democrats and an unlimited budget. Let's go get him. That didn't work out too well, did it? That fizzled. A lot of bad people along the way. And now corrupt politicians, Nancy Pelosi, and shifty Adam Schiff, shifty, and the media are continuing with the deranged impeachment witch hunt. This is one I never thought I'd be involved in. The word impeachment, to me, it's a dirty word, not a good word. Totally phony deal. They know it. Everybody knows it. And that's why we've never had greater support than we have right now. It's true. And if you think you have a lot of people in this room, all you have to do is go outside. You'll see a lot more people trying to get in. So if anybody wants to give up your seat, please just walk out. Somebody. Anybody want to leave? Because there really is, there's no place better to have a rally, to have a good time, and to also, at the same time, be very serious than at a Trump rally, especially on Friday night in Mississippi. We could have done this one on Monday night. He said, let's do Friday, right? Friday's good. Yesterday, the Democrats voted to potentially nullify the votes of 63 million Americans, disgracing themselves and bringing shame upon the House of Representatives. They've been plotting to overthrow the election since the moment I won, but the people here that are highly sophisticated know long before I won. 19 minutes after I took the oath of office, the horrible newspaper, fake, Washington Post, declared the campaign to impeach President Trump has just begun. At least they gave us 19 minutes. Yesterday's vote by the radical Democrats is an attack on democracy itself. But I'll tell you, the Republicans are really strong, the strongest I've ever seen them, the most unified I've ever seen them. Right? The most unified I've ever seen them. The American people are fed up with Democrat lies, hoaxes, and extremism. The Democrats' outrageous conduct has created an angry majority that will vote many do-nothing Democrats out of office in 2020. Make no mistake, they are coming after the Republican Party and me because I'm fighting for you. They don't like it. This is different. They've never had anything like this. Well, they've never had an election like 2016 either, have they? They've never had. And they know they can't win. So let's try and impeach him. How about that crazy Representative Al Green, right? You know, we got to impeach him because we can't beat him. I don't think so, right? I don't think so. Al Green, he's another beauty. The Democrats, the media, and the deep state are desperate to stop us. And it's not me, it's us, it's all of us. It's 63 million, but it's much more than 63 million, much more. And right now, our numbers are higher than they've ever been before. So, you know, they've never been this way. But they want to stop us because they know we are here, and that's what we're doing, and that's what's taken up so much time. We're draining the swamp in Washington. Nothing terrifies Democrats more than the fact that all of their spying, they actually spied on my campaign. Can you believe it? I mean, you know, they try and say, well, we were actually just checking things out. Oh, that's wonderful. The lying, the falsifying over the past 3 years plus, before I ever even announced they were spying. I guess they knew we were going to win, right? But over that past more than 3 years is finally being exposed. And remember this, that truth is a force of nature. Desperate to conceal their misdeeds, the Democrats are now attacking us for calling out the grave corruption of the Bidens, just like they melted down when we pointed out crooked Hillary's shocking and very many misdeeds. $33,000 emails disappeared. But she said they only had to do with her working out and her daughter's wedding. 30. She's a beauty. How about last week? Did you hear? I don't know who Tulsi Gabbard is, but I know one thing. She's not an agent of Russia. And Jill Stein, she's a greenie. That's fine. We love the environment, everybody in this room. You know, right now we have the cleanest air and the cleanest water that we've ever had, and yet we're #1 in the world in energy by far. We took over. But I don't know Jill Stein. She ran last time. I don't know her, but I know she's not an agent of Russia. And when Hillary made those statements, 2 statements, both of them, they work for Russia, they're agents of Russia. I said, you know, when she made that statement about me 3 years ago, it took me 2 years to get out of that hoax statement. She made it about them, everybody laughed because of what we proved. But I'll tell you what, these are very bad people, these are very dishonest people, and the media is worse than all of them. But think about the preposterous hoax the Democrats are now trying to peddle. I've just beaten with no political, look, We didn't have too much political experience. I did a good job, built lots of buildings all over the place, had great success in show business. Just did one show, it was called The Apprentice, and it was a big success. 14 seasons, and when I left, Crazy Arnold took over. It didn't do too well. It was dead. It was dead from the first episode. I saw him, I said, oh, it's terrible. What have they done to this beautiful show? Arnold. But think of it, I've just beaten with no political experience the Clinton dynasty, the Bush dynasty, the President Barack Hussein Obama dynasty. And President Obama worked harder at defeating me than crooked Hillary Clinton did, right? He was all over the place. It's the only time I've actually seen him work hard, when he came to trying to beat Trump. True. Remember he said, he will not be president. Well, that didn't work out so well. And then they figured they could take us out a different way, very dishonestly, right? With the lying and the spying and the leaking. And we are kicking their ass, I'll tell you. In the delusional Democrat fantasy, I'm now supposed to be afraid of someone called 1% Joe. I used to call him 1% because you could never get 1% in the primaries. Then he got brought out by Obama out of the trash heap, became vice president. But we've now named him very slow, Sleepy Joe. Very slow. He's gotten slower and slower. I'm afraid if he gets a nomination, he'll be so slow. We'll have the lowest rated debates in history, as opposed to the highest rated debates in history against crooked Hillary. In fact, I don't even think that Sleepy Joe will get it, but many people are running. So, you know, it's so early. I don't want to talk about their campaign. Oh, did you hear? Beto, did you hear? Beto. Oh, that poor bastard. Well, poor pathetic guy. He was pathetic. Remember, the arms are flailing. Remember that? You know, he ran against Ted Cruz. Ted Cruz won. He spent almost $100 million. And Ted Cruz and I helped Ted, and we campaigned together, and it was good. But I used to watch him. Then when he came onto the really big stage, this crazy stage, I noticed he was flailing with the arms, and he was standing on tables. He was standing on countertops. I said, does he ever like stand on the floor and speak? But he's waving his arms and going crazy. And I said, what the hell is he doing? What is he on? And you remember he made the statement that he was born for this. Anybody that says he was born for this, they're in trouble. You know, I used to have guys come into my office, sir, I'm the greatest salesman. Nobody can sell. You know, the truth is, anybody that says they're a great salesman, usually they're not a very good salesman. It's true. It's those sneaky ones in the back that don't talk, that you don't know about. They're the ones. But Beto was nasty. And he said that he was born for it, like he was born from heaven. He came down. And if that's the case, some really bad things happened because he made a total fool out of himself. And he came out of Texas, the great state of Texas. He came out of Texas, a very hot political property, and he went back as cold as you can be. So he was a nasty guy, but he had a couple of policies that don't work well in the state of Texas, right? He was against religion. He was against you having a gun. and he was against oil. So you come from Texas, you don't like religion, you don't like oil, and you don't have guns. I don't know, that's not a good combination in the state of Texas. That's not good in Mississippi either. I don't know, is that good? Is that good anyway? No, he went back home to Texas, and hopefully we won't be hearing about him for a long time. It's amazing how cold you can get so quickly, but he was a nasty guy. But in the twist, oh, Alabama. Love Alabama. I love Alabama. I love Alabama. It's a great place. But in the very twisted and corrupt world of Adam Schiff, after beating the entire political establishment, and that means Bush, and that means Clinton, and that means Obama, they have me supposedly saying to myself, well, let's see. I got a guy named Sleepy Joe Biden. How do I beat him? How do I beat him? How do I beat this guy? He's such a great Clinton. She was easy, right? Obama was easy. The Bush dynasty was easy. But Sleepy Joe I'm worried about, right? So then I said to myself, gee, I guess there's only one way. Let's call up Ukraine for help. These people are sick. These people are sick. Now, these dishonest people will take the last little sliver and the first little sliver, and they'll put it, because they're so damn dishonest, and they'll just say, let's use Ukraine for help. That's what they're going to say. And they won't show the laughter, and they won't show the sarcasm, and they won't show the fun, because they're the most dishonorable people almost on earth. It's a disgrace. But we say it anyway. And here's the good news, the people get it. So they have a brand new president in Ukraine, good guy, by the way. And I call a brand new person, a man I have no idea who he is. And I'm on a phone, right? And I know many people are on the phone, because when you call the leaders of country, many people listen. And I'm on the phone, and they want me to say to this brand new president who just got there, call to congratulate him. Please, could you help me, please? I don't know who he is. I didn't know his name until I looked down the card, I say. And he's a nice guy. And hopefully he's going to root out corruption, because Ukraine has tremendous corruption problems. And hopefully, and one of the reasons I held up money, very important, corruption. But the other reason, why isn't Germany and France and UK and all of these European nations that are right there, why aren't they doing things that they're supposed to do? Why is it always the United States? So I made this call, had this wonderful call, and the transcript proves it was, as I said, perfect. It was perfect. It wasn't like almost, it was perfect. It was totally appropriate. I made it at the behest of people to say, could you call and say hello? Now, I'm an honest person anyway, but do you think when I'm making a call to a newly elected president of a country, that I would say something improper when I know there are so many people listening on the line? Many people. All of these people. You had the Secretary of State, Pompeo, great guy. He's listening. You had transcribers, fortunately. You had policy experts, junior age, low-level staffers, probably apprentice. Whoever the hell wants to listen, they listen. And they have me making some kind of a deal with all these people. And remember, the new president of Ukraine is speaking to the United States of America, the president. I guarantee he's got a lot of people listening to him. These people are sick. So, corrupt politician, shifty Adam Schiff, actually stood before Congress and stood before the American people and made up a conversation that he said I had with the Ukrainian president. Unfortunately, no, think of it. And many people saw that, and it was he said terrible things. The president of Ukraine said it was a very good conversation, there was no pressure. His foreign minister said the same thing, no pressure. They must think we're nuts, to be honest. It's all a phony deal, this whole impeachment scam, to try to undermine the 2020 election and to delegitimize one of the greatest elections, maybe the greatest. I mean, let's give George Washington credit, but everybody expected he was going to win, that we've ever had. So my phone call, which was totally perfect and appropriate, and if you want to read the transcript, you see how perfect it was, but they don't quit. But what you should do is take a look at the behavior of Sleepy Joe. So I quote, I said, let me act like him. I got to speak really slow though. I said, you're not getting $1 billion. I looked at them and I said, I'm leaving in 6 hours. If the prosecutor isn't fired, you're not getting the money. Do you understand? You're not getting the money. Then he goes at the end, I didn't know he had this kind of energy. He goes, well, son of a bitch, he got fired. You know, in a certain way, I was impressed because, I mean, I didn't think he had the energy, the brain power. It's turned out he doesn't. By the way, he's dropping like a rock. You know, when you're at 1%, there's always a reason. He should be there fairly soon. As you know, the Ukrainian prosecutor that Biden got fired after threatening to withhold, I think it was $1 billion or something in aid, was the prosecutor investigating his son's company that was paying Hunter Biden, a guy just got thrown out of the Navy. He was paying him millions of dollars, even though working for an energy company, he had no experience with energy. He knew less about it than this young, how old are you? 6. This young, beautiful person in front of him. And this young 6-year-old is smarter, so I think I'd basically go with her. So, what is it all about? It's called a payoff. But you know what? The fake news, they apologize. I watched this horrible guy who gets lousy ratings, Anderson Cooper. Well, the hatred, I mean, between him and Fredo, you got Fredo, that's Cuomo, Fredo, I call him Fredo, like from the movie. Now, I watched Anderson Cooper, and I watched him apologize for even asking the question to Biden. The good news is Biden didn't know too much about what the hell he was talking about. Remember, Biden said, I don't know these people, I don't know them, I don't know them. He never spoke to his son about getting millions of dollars. No. He never spoke to him. Didn't happen to speak to him. Think of this. We're dealing with life, right? He never spoke to him. Unfortunately, the next day, you know, in the world of the internet, in the world of smart people, that's why, like, Beto wasn't smart. Couldn't handle it. I told my wife, I said, see, it's not so easy. I told our great First Lady tonight, who people love, they love her. When Beto quit, he quit like a dog. When he quit, I said, see, people think this is easy. This isn't easy. But, you know, it just worked out that way. But Biden said, I never met the people, never met the gentleman. Unfortunately, in about 10 seconds, a picture came out where they're playing golf together. But he never met him. So now you'll ask him, he said, no, we played a round of golf. We were together for 3 hours. I never mentioned the fact that they're paying my son millions. Oh, no, no, no. But the press protects him. Watch this crazy Anderson Cooper, third rate, lousy ratings, third rate person. But listen, CNN, the worst. I mean, the worst. The worst. Whoop. Oh, their light just went off, see? Look, the light was on, they just turned it. They don't like it. You know, it's tough. You fake CNN. No, it's tough. I tried not to do that because I see their light on. You know, when their light goes on, that means you're live. No, that means you're live. And every time, it's tough. Look, in all fairness, they're putting it on. It's a broadcast. Very few people are watching. Well, they might be watching us. I guess they do watch it. But here's the thing. And then you have the guy up there saying that they're fake, that they're no good, that they're liars and cheaters, that they're phonies. It's hard to be broadcasting that when you're talking about the network that has you on, right? So we understand. The light's off. And then, remember this. Anderson Cooper, what a beauty. He used to interview me. He was so nice. Prior to running for politics, he was so nice to me. It was like they were love fests. But I don't want anything to do with him. They were love fests. What a thought. He's weak. But let me just tell you something. We need honesty with our media. We need honesty. Because the New York Times, the Washington Post, and by the way, I don't know, you probably read it. We threw him out of the White House. We don't show him anymore. If somebody wants to go and buy him, we threw him out. And they came into my office, and then I got to get back to this guy, Where's Hunter? Where's Hunter? You know, we had a T-shirt made, Where's Hunter? Where's Hunter? Poor Hunter. He then came out, he did the morning show. That was the last we've seen of Hunter. That wasn't good. The morning of his father's very bad debate. But it's Where's Hunter? But so before I say the final thing on Hunter, and then we put him to rest for a while, we got rid of the Washington Post and the failing New York Times. We got rid of them, right? We don't have them in the White House. So now people can go out and buy them, but we don't. We used to have them stacked up, and I'd go in and I'd see a meeting with my people, and they're dealing with China or South Korea or somebody. And I'd go in and I'd go into these offices. I'd see like 10 or 15 of them packed all over the place. The Washington Post, New York Times, I keep trying to figure out who's worse. And, you know, one day it's the Times, one day it's the Post. It's like top each other. They're so bad. It's so phony. It's so, in my opinion, it's virtually corrupt. I've never seen it. You never have a good story. I mean, even when we got al-Baghdadi, the Washington Post had a story that he was like a great religious cleric. Where did that come from? The other thing, if Obama would have done it, because look, this guy built ISIS, the caliphate, it was the size physically of Ohio, the state of Ohio, the great state of Ohio. That's a big lot of land, 7 million people. And they were the ones, the orange jumpsuits. I called a lot of the parents after we did this, and I talked to them, and they were, how can you be happy? But they were so thrilled that we got this animal. They were so thrilled. But you know what? And you know what? We don't do it. We do it because it's right. That story was a massive story. That was the biggest, maybe the biggest, one of the biggest ever. Bigger than anything. That story disappeared so fast. Gone. And that's okay. I didn't do it for the story. I did it because it's the right thing to do. But if I were a Democrat, they'd be talking about that story for weeks. With me, they don't even want to, you know, they actually played it down. And actually, and I'm happy about this, Conan, the dog, got more publicity than me, and I'm very happy about that. Conan is incredible. And Conan's coming to the White House in a few weeks. But it is true. Did you ever see a story disappear so fast? I mean, here, if Obama had that story, that thing would be going on for another 7 months. They'd be talking about his bravery, oh, so bravery. But again, 142 judges he gave us. Remember that. How can you be a great... You know, they always say the most important thing a president can do is federal judges. We got 2 Supreme Courts. Great ones. Great judges. Gorsuch and Kavanaugh. Great judges. By the way, did you ever see any human being treated worse than now Justice Kavanaugh? Did anybody ever? Was any human being by these people, these horrible, horrible people that we have to deal with? Anyway, just to finish. So Hunter then goes to China. Now I'm dealing with China right now. They don't like me too much. They dream about the day when somebody else, and would they like to have, how about this? You give this son, who has 0 experience with investing too, you give him $1.5 billion to invest, meaning he makes millions and millions of dollars. And the biggest guys on Wall Street can't get it. He walks out with $1.5 billion. And then there are other places also, I understand. Folks, it's disgraceful that the press doesn't cover it for what it is. It's a payoff. It's a payoff. And how would you like to have Sleepy Joe, with the son getting all of this money from China, become president and take over the China deal? They are not liking me. They had the worst year that they've had in 57 years. Their supply chain is broken up like scrambled eggs. And they want to make a deal because those tariffs are giving us millions of dollars and billions now, billions and billions of dollars. We're taking billions and billions of dollars. And you know what we're doing with some of it? Just a small portion, but 100% they're taken care of. Our farmers got $16 billion last year and $12 billion the year before. Because they targeted our farmers, because they know the farmers love Trump and Trump loves the farmers. So they targeted them, and they brought the $16 billion down to practically nothing. And they thought our farmers would say, oh, we don't like Trump. They did just the opposite. They said, we know he's doing the right thing because we've been ripped off for so many years. But I said to Secretary of Agriculture, Sonny Perdue, a great guy, I said, Sonny, how much did they spend buying our corn and soybeans and all of our agricultural product? He said, sir, $16 billion. I said, good, I'll make it up. And we're going to have a lot left over. So we will have, pretty soon, over $100 billion in money paid into the United States Treasury by a country that never gave us 10 cents. They only took. So when I said to the farmers, we're going to send you $16 billion, and it's already been sent, and it's been split in the $12 billion the year before. I mean, think of that, $28 billion. I said, compliments of China. And we had a lot left over. Not bad, right? Not bad. You think Obama would do that? I don't think so. You think Hillary would do that? I don't think so. You think Sleepy Joe would do that? I don't think so. He wouldn't know what you're talking about. On Tuesday, the proud people of Mississippi will send Democrats a clear message. It's very important for this reason, as well as the fact that you have a great gentleman in your midst. But you have to reject their extremism and their socialism and their corruption. They're corrupt. Adam Schiff is a corrupt politician. You know, when he made that phony speech where he made up a really horrible speech and said that I said it, I said, oh, I'm going to sue him. They said, sir, I'm sorry, you can't. He's got total immunity because he made it in Congress. Can you believe this? But you know, here's the good news. At least we have a forum. We have a place we can talk so everyone knows what's going on. Bunch of phony people. But this is why we have to send a signal and why you have to make Tate Reeves your great new Republican, right? Republican governor, right? Tate, he's a great guy, too. And all I know is he's loved and respected by your current governor because Phil is some piece of work. You know, Phil is so confident I wanted Phil to run for a certain office. Then I wanted him to do something. I've tried to get him. But you know, some guys are confident. Phil said, no, sir, I've been doing this all my life. I love the people. He built the most beautiful African-American museum. Phil, he's the greatest. But he built the most beautiful. But he's got confidence. And he said, no, sir, I've been doing it. I don't really want to do that. In other words, he said, that's enough. Most people are so insecure. They keep going and going and going. It's not good. I like Phil's attitude, but Phil is great. But I'm going to introduce Phil in a second. But Tate Reeves, who Phil endorses and views as a champion for your state, and really a champion for Mississippi values. And Tate helped cut your taxes over 50 times, including the largest tax cut in Mississippi history. Tate is pro-worker, he's pro-jobs, he's pro-family, he's pro-life. Tate is a true leader in the fight to protect the unborn. The other side is not. Tate Reeves will support our police, oppose sanctuaries. Oh, we love our police, right? I love our police. We love our police. He'll oppose sanctuary cities, which is just terrible. They're terrible. And Tate will always defend your Second Amendment. So Tate's running against a liberal Democrat named Jim Hood.